My name's Tracy Sprague, and I'm the artistic director here.
And my name's Megan Lynch. I am the technical director of Center Stage Conservatory.
This building that we're in at one point was J.C. Penney's, and at the time was actually owned by the Marx Brothers. The Marx Brothers sold the building, and it was bought by a few businessmen to turn it into the City Mall, which it was most recently. And it was just various businesses, but down here they had a courtroom. And it's been a traffic court and a divorce court, and if you actually take a look at the other side of the door, you'll see an old sign that says, "Turn your firearms into the bailiff."
When we saw this place, it was ravaged, but we still went, yes.
It was a blank palette.
You know, so I feel like
exciting.
It was one of those things that because it was so nasty and messy that so many other people passed it up. When we first started on this project, we got a lot of support. We had our Kickstarter drive. And then we had our grand opening. It looks put together now, so I feel like the need is less obvious, but there's still a lot that we need financially, but also motivational support to just keep showing up every day, to keep pushing, to keep doing shows.
Here we are at our last day of rehearsal, building a fort.
Since opening the doors, we did our CSYSC, which is our youth programs, 2012 production, which included a midterm vaudeville show that the students created all the vaudeville acts, and it was pretty much teched and performed all by them. And they did that basically in 3 weeks. They created this nice show to show everything that they've been learning. And 3 weeks later, they presented Two Gentlemen of Verona by William Shakespeare with vaudeville elements.
The bands that we've had come in have been from different promoters, like we've had Good Luck Thrift Store Outfit, and some other bands from out of California have traveled to come and play here, so that's been pretty cool for us.
It is. It's always nice to meet the musicians. They're always interesting people.
And then we have our local playwright circle, so we've done 2 staged readings of original work that have been written by people in the local Modesto area and wanted to hear it out loud to get feedback. So we've done that twice since opening the door.
And then as part of our main season, we also did Harold Pinter's Betrayal. We're already planning next season as well. We'll have like maybe some Brecht, maybe some Mamet. We'll see what happens.
Juicy.
Peer Recovery Art Project is an innovative idea which has been established in downtown Modesto, not only to improve the lives of people, but also to revitalize the downtown areas.
Which sowed of sugar beets in the Californian valley.
Del rosado tierno,
From the gentle rosado.
como suspiro de quinceañera,
Like a 15-year-old sigh.
azul de valentía,
Blue of courage.
a lo mejor
Perhaps.
blanco de paz sería hipocresía.
White from the serious piece of hypocrisy.
Entre la cornucopia.
We just finished with a cultural type venue, which was for El Día de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. And we allowed families to come in who are of a Latin background and know about this holiday to establish themselves here in the gallery with a display.
We have a youth leadership development team here at Peer Recovery entitled the U Crew, who are self-directed, self-taught, self-managed community service arts organizations. So what we did was right out here, we lined these streets up with plywood. We had 8 4x8 sections of plywood on the ground. We had our U Crew starting to outline the sketches, and that night we painted murals for the haunted house.
My name's Yvette LaForce, and I just joined the Peer Recovery Art Project. I've shown at other galleries, great galleries that I loved, and I had a calling towards more of a community feel. I was born an artist, I believe that. I was drawing in my room at a very young age. My mother said I never left my room, and I just drew. So I started selling art in high school, and was mentored by a wonderful woman in high school. That's why I am so open to helping schools in the arts, and because that's really where I knew my calling. To do is walk in here, and I'm inspired for the rest of the week. So, and I know that anyone who walks through these doors is validated as a person, as an artist, as a storyteller. That's where my heart is. So my goal is to enrich the arts in Modesto, my community, the younger artists that, you know, I didn't get a lot of pushes and help as a young artist. So I want to do that for young artists, and just let them know that, you know, they don't have to compromise anything, that it's we do it because we love it.
I've seen people who, you know, come here at the beginning without any real direction. Oh, I can't draw, or I can't paint, and then I see them maybe a few months later. Whoa.
Tenacious Dreams Film Festival, take one. Hi everyone, my name is Mark Runnels.
And I'm Greg Runnels.
We are the directors of the documentary you're watching now, and we are also the directors of the first annual Tenacious Dreams Film Festival, which we will be bringing to downtown Modesto this coming February.
We had over 30 films submitted, and just like we promised, we're going to let you know what our selections are. But first, we're going to tell you what we were looking for in the films. Our criteria included a unique vision, quality picture, sound, and acting, and most importantly, good storytelling.
So here we go. Here are the 12 films that we will be showing at the first annual Tenacious Dreams Film Festival. First up is Ted Kaczynski Takes a Day Off. This is a world premiere. This handmade animated film was constructed entirely in filmmaker Zach Erickson's living room. Its humor matches its ingenuity. Next is First Week. This is a beautiful short that may be one of the greatest home movies ever made. Bay Area filmmaker Chris McGilvray chronicles the first week of his newborn baby's life. Next we have Seed. Set in the year 2071, where technology has brought mankind to the brink of colonization on a planet named Gaia. One astronaut takes an isolated mission and discovers unearthly horrors that could bring an end to human life on this planet. Next is The Beginning. This gem from acclaimed writer Tom Swift and director Brian Toll explores the sweet, funny, awkward, and sometimes painful moments at the beginning of a new relationship. All I Think of Is You. After her work-obsessed husband dies in an accident, a woman is approached by a stranger possessing his memories and emotions. The characters in this science fiction thriller inhabit a world where it's no longer clear whether people are driving technology or technology is driving people. Turn On, a game of seduction. All we can say is this is a Bollywood PSA with a twist. Next is Screenshot, an online tale of love and betrayal told entirely through Facebook. This film was produced in Ireland. And finally, ending program 1, we have Method, a film by the Strong brothers who created The Dungeon Master. In this film, an actress takes her new role seriously, a little too seriously.
And here's program 2, The Shop. This short documentary follows the inner workings of a barbershop in Merced, California. These hardworking young men create a story of inspiration as their work ethic allows them to survive in one of the hardest hit economies in the Central Valley. Next is Fieldwork. This experimental work by Christian Holly borrows formally and contextually from Impressionistic painting and deals with the quiet desperation and doubt of contemporary fatherhood and the day-to-day. Next up is Suspicion. What starts out as an innocuous music video on the beach soon goes to a very dark and humorous place. And finally, Cinco de Mayo. A meek, idealistic Chicano studies instructor known as El Maestro yearns to inspire his culturally apathetic students. After being unjustly fired, Harassed by his students and labeled a potential menace to society, El Maestro sets out to teach everyone one final lesson.
My name's Josh Bridegroom. I'm a city planner for the city of Modesto, so I help plan the city, which means everything that you could think of that would go into planning a city. Roadways, infrastructure, planning for the different types of uses and development that occur in different parts of the city. Planning gets involved in all of that in some respect or another. As a city planner, my main objectives in improving downtown Modesto are to create a sociable and vibrant environment where residents, businesses, and visitors can come and enjoy space together, where the economics are favorable to new development, where the downtown area becomes the most desirable downtown area in the Central Valley. So parklets are essentially repurposing public space for something that might have a greater community benefit than what the public space is currently being purposed for. Generally, specifically, parklets are a means of generally taking a parking space that had been previously used for, or sometimes in the case of the one that we did, a red painted zone along the edges of the roadway, and repurposing it for a plaza, a park, a place to display public art, something other than what it had been previously used for. So in the park that we did down at 10th and J Streets, for example, it was adjacent to restaurants, and we were trying to come up with a theme or design that we could use there that would really capitalize on that proximity. So we turned those parklets into an outdoor dining area for the restaurants. Actualizing the first parklet on 10th and J was somewhat difficult, but it was made a lot easier by the fact that we had a strong community support for doing something along 10th Street at that location. There were some things we had to overcome, but with community support and a lot of creativity and creative thinking, it wasn't actually as difficult as what it might appear to have been. I definitely feel there's a cultural renaissance occurring in downtown Modesto, and I think it reflects or mirrors that renaissance that's occurring nationally. There's a huge interest in people wanting to move back into a sociable environment, back into the downtown area across the nation, and I don't think there's any less of that occurring here than is occurring in other places. Modesto is well positioned to have a cultural renaissance with respect to its downtown because it has a great skeleton in place, it has a great structure, nice short blocks, some good urban fabric to build onto down here, and I think we'll continue to see more catalysts for urban development being poured into the downtown as we move forward.
At some point, the valley opened. It started from a small point, then several, an ellipsis. It opened from there like a museum of itself, self-conscious artifacts out, a little glossy, she, visiting. For a while, it was like this. Then something happened. A book fell open. My name is Gillian Wegener. I am a junior high English teacher in Oakdale, and I am the Poet Laureate of the City of Modesto. I was appointed Poet Laureate in June of this year, of 2012, and it started back in February with an application process. I filled out a pretty lengthy application from the City of Modesto detailing my poetry life and publication history, and that went through a couple of committees at the city level, and I heard in April that I was going to be appointed, and then in June I attended a city council meeting, and they approved my laureateship there, so it was very exciting. The job of the Poet Laureate is to be the official poet for the city. So if the city needs a poem for a specific event, like the rededication of the Modesto Arch or the reopening of McHenry Mansion, they can contact the Poet Laureate, and the laureate will write the poem for that occasion. The New Year's Poetry Challenge is something I came up with a few years ago to ring out the old year and ring in the new year with poetry and really get people writing over that time of year. We're all so busy and it's really hectic, and to kind of slow down and think things through and write poetry from a bunch of perspectives. So I send out a prompt a night, for 30 days. And people are free to pick and choose to write about every one or write about none of them or save them for later. Last year we had 75 people involved, more or less, from Modesto to Oklahoma. And everybody comes together and writes, and we get to share our writing with each other later on at the Bark and Dog at the January reading. What inspires me about Modesto, I think, are the people here. I think the people are the heart of the matter. You know, Modesto's not necessarily lovely, it's not huge, it's not a lot of things, but it does have a lot of fantastic people. People who are willing to work hard, people who are willing to share their arts in so many different ways. And I think that, you know, once that art, that sense of art, that sense of community gets rolling, it snowballs, and more people are writing, and more people are making films, and more people are creating plays and visual art. And so how can that not inspire more art? It just kind of keeps going and going. An orchard of apricots unfolded. No museum here. People live in the broad wind, know the seasons of walnuts, the names of waterways. San Joaquin, yes. McCullamy, yes. Stanislaus, yes. Alkali lakes, and still that tree line means water, maybe so far down that the earth above it jigsaw cracks. Eucalyptus can suck the salt water from the ground, thus saving the field. Food grows where water flows. Amen.
Well, I followed you on out to California with dreams of sunshine kissing golden shores, with movie stars and palm trees waving in the cool breeze and opportunities knocking at our door. I didn't find you on a beach at sunset. I drove right by that Hollywood sign with windmills in my rearview mirror, pain and heartache coming near when I found you on Highway 99. I made a right turn east to San Francisco, saw South Forward stretched across the town. The first two words were water wealth, the second two contempt and health. I'm the king of fools, so please give me my